Welcome to our video series, 3 Omnichannel Fails and How to Fix Them. I'm here with Vasu Srinivasan, Senior Analyst at Forrester. Our first topic is channels of choice or channels for resolution. Vasu, what are your thoughts on this first topic?
Thank you, Lance. No, I think that's a fantastic starting point for understanding what's not working with omnichannel today. I think the big divide when it comes to leveraging channels and doing more with digital is that there is a certain science that needs to be applied behind how we use channels or what channels we send out to our customers today. And I think the big fail when it comes to how we do that is that we do not pay enough attention to process complexities or internal workflow related complexities that do not essentially contribute to a great channel experience for our customers. So unwittingly, what we have kind of walked ourselves into is more of a spray and pray mechanism for delivering channels, if you will, right? We're throwing every single channel out there into the customer and then making the customer make the choice of a particular channel, while the customer does not have a view on what internal complexities exist and whether a particular kind of interaction is suited for that particular channel. And because we're doing this, what we're also doing is forcing customers to swap channels, which is why we see rampant channel swap happen. 80% of interactions that start on digital channels still end up moving to either a different channel, either an assisted live agent channel, or a completely disconnected channel like phone, because what we are not paying attention to when we design for channels is that channels need to solve for something beyond engagement. It needs to solve for resolution. So when we create our channel strategy, the focus needs to shift from mere engagement into resolution. And that is the big recommendation that's coming through from me today. If we want to get omnichannel right, we need to go back to the drawing board a little bit. We need to understand a little bit about what kind of interactions are we dealing with today? What are customers doing with digital channels already? With what the customers are doing there today, how much of that volume is qualified for each channel? So there needs to be a science that looks at volume, that looks at complexity, that looks at upstream and downstream workflows before we make the decision to expose the customer to that particular channel. And that is kind of what needs to govern not just how we are using channel, but also how we leverage automation, for example. We need to be able to understand what is entirely self-service, what kind of interactions need, maybe they start with self-service, but ultimately do end up requiring some kind of agent assistance, right? We start with that layer and then kind of move in and understand what are the different channels we want to expose to that particular kind of interaction, right? So we need to essentially create what I'd like to call a channel decision matrix, if you will, right? That's looking at all of the interactions we have today and then creating this path for customers on relevant channels as opposed to every channel that we have. What do you think about that strategy? Are you seeing something similar from your customers as well, Lance?
Absolutely. At Khoros, we couldn't agree more. Too often, enterprises implement channels without thinking through the complexity of their customers' inquiries into that channel, which at times, as you pointed out, forces customers to have to switch channels mid-conversation and start all over again. I mean, talk about a poor customer experience. That's why, we really feel it's important that a brand's customer engagement solution allows their frontline employees to seamlessly transfer and or pick up conversations regardless of channel and not lose any of that conversational context. It is so important from our perspective. Thank you, Vasu, and thank you for tuning in today. Stay tuned for our second topic coming out next week.